text, hey, welcome to Modern Art Blitz. My guest has to make a text.
Already done.
You texted?
I did.
Okay. Hey, my next guest is one of the greatest painters living in Los Angeles today, and that's what I think. So welcome, Andy Moses.
Thank you for that.
I'm a big fan. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Great to be here.
Andy, I mean, you're legend, I guess. I mean, you've shown, you just had a 25-year?
30-year.
30-year retrospective. Okay, 30 years ago, I'm going to do the math, it was 1987.
Correct.
You started making art in 1987, or you started showing art.
I started showing art in 1987.
Started showing art in 1987.
Yeah. I moved to New York in 1982.
Okay.
And worked for a painter named Pat Steer.
Oh my God, you worked for Pat Steer?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Went to CalArts before that. Studied with Baldessari, Douglas Hubler, Barbara Kruger. Very conceptually based school, obviously. And they said,
"You're a painter. How'd you get away with that?"
Got to react to your situation.
Oh,
so,
good. You kept them kind of
Yeah.
on the hot seat, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was a give and take. It was a great education, but I knew I wanted to go into this other realm.
So working for Pat Steer was definitely
It was great. Yeah.
So you worked you were working, so you got to meet people in New York.
Yeah, I sort of got to New York at a time when the whole art scene was sort of blowing up in a big way. There had been this shift from very minimal conceptual work in the 70s, and then the early 80s. Obviously graffiti came along, neo-expressionism, and there was just a big shift towards painting.
Is that that energy that just will never be recaptured?
Never say never, but it was a pretty, it was an exciting time to be there.
Yeah,
there was a lot happening. I got to be a fly on the wall for a lot of historical moments.
And so you've probably been asked a million times, did you ever meet Basquiat?
I did meet Basquiat.
You did not be,
yeah.
Did you smoke?
Actually, 1987, I did my first solo show with Nina Nose.
Oh, really?
And she was Basquiat's dealer.
Wow.
And I met him at a cocktail party shortly after I joined the gallery. And he didn't live much longer after that, unfortunately.
Wow. And you didn't have anything to do with his death, and that's your story, and you're sticking to
I'm
it?
Sticking to it.
Okay. So, and then the other now immortal name from the time is Keith Haring.
I didn't know Keith Haring.
You didn't know Keith Haring?
No.
Did you ever meet Andy Warhol?
I did meet Andy Warhol.
Did you like Andy Warhol?
I mean,
how can you not like it?
Andy
Yeah.
Warhol. I think I could have been named after Andy Warhol.
Really?
As a matter of fact.
Wow.
And what's interesting, I did my first show in 1987, and it opened the same week that he passed away.
Oh no.
And people kept calling my art dealer, Nina Nose, and saying, Andy's dead. And she kept calling my phone and saying,
oh no.
Are you alive?
Oh no.
So there's this weird kind of karmic connection somehow with Andy Warhol.
Wow, that's heavy. That's February of 87.
February of 87. Just had my 30-year survey at the Barrett Gallery. And as we drove over from there to Bergamot Station, where we did an after party, it was interesting because the Andy Warhol 30-year death celebration show had just opened, or not celebration, but
the memorial show had just opened at one of the museums.
At Bergamot Station, same night.
Oh my God. Oh my.
So kind of a bizarre.
That thing's following you around, man. You know, I might recommend a blonde wig from here on out. But okay, so tell us, now is this painting, have I seen this painting recently?
This was pretty much the poster for my show. It was the main painting you viewed as you walked in the gallery.
In Santa Monica?
At Santa Monica.
Okay, great. Now, is there a title?
Geomorph 1504. It's actually pretty much to scale, and it looks cool with this floating.
Like if we were standing in front of it, it'd be about this big, right?
It's pretty much to scale.
Yeah, it's a big painting. Okay,
so it's 6 by 8 feet. Maybe it's a little oversized, but these sort of rock-like forms, I guess, go way back to the paintings in the 80s. Starting in 1986, 1987, I was making these sort of smaller rock-like forms, and you probably saw them in the show as you first entered the gallery. So I think this is sort of an image that's haunted me for 30 plus years, maybe 35 years. I've been thinking about these. I like it because it's sort of the most basic sculpture there is. So it's this idea of making something that's a painting that looks a little bit photographic, and yet it's kind of about a sculpture at the same time. So you're integrating these 3 different disciplines in some kind of way.
And it's a very physical process.
It's a very physical process, yeah. Everything I do It's all done in one sitting, and it's all buckets of paint, pouring it, manipulating it flat, and having to make a lot of decisions in a very short amount of time.
It's kind of like the Olympics.
I mean, there's a sporting aspect to it,
Yeah?
for sure.
Would you want to compete like against other painters to like do this sort of thing? No?
We'll see.
There's got to be a promoter out of there.
In the LA Olympics in 2024, you never know.
9.3. So now the interesting thing about we don't necessarily get the effect is this is on a panel that's actually curved
This
inward.
one is actually flat.
Oh, this is a flat one.
Which I've only returned to recently. I started the curves back in about 2002.
Okay.
And I've been doing it for the last 15 years. So they started out as horizontal curves like this, then they've gone to vertical curves. I think we'll see one in a minute, a vertical curve.
Do you find do people lump you in with, obviously, I call you an abstract painter, but when I look at this, and it's not the first time I've had this experience, I'm looking at your art thinking that there's just such a naturalism.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the connector between Kelly and I is our interest in geologic nature.
But you're not satisfied with just making a pretty plein air painting. I mean, you're creating these kind of natures.
I want to make an equivalency rather than a copy of. And I feel like the process of my work is very much the subject matter at the same time. So I'm interested in sort of taking these elements and paralleling natural forces and then ending up with something that relates to natural phenomenon. So I'm compressing the time maybe from 30 million years to a couple of weeks.
But if the Museum of Modern Art calls and says, we're doing a show of LA abstract painters.
Oh, sure.
I had to.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I don't, it's sort of a little hard to define. I mean, hopefully it's a new category. It is this interest in, I do consider myself an abstract painter, and I come out of that tradition, that history, but I feel like I'm trying to push it into new terrain, no pun intended.
So you had your retrospective show,
Yes.
and I mean, it was a mob. I mean, couldn't push through that crowd, and well attended. A lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. They made it out for your show. So
yeah, we promoted it pretty heavily.
No, it was everything about it was good. But I wanted to see more. Okay, do you have any? Have you ever had a book done?
We did a book.
You did a book.
Yeah.
So there is a book out.
190 pages.
Wow.
For the survey.
Oh, okay, great.
Next edition coming out very soon.
Okay,
It's
so
sold out.
sold out the first. Oh wow. Okay, so this is totally news to me. Where does one get that book? Do you know?
William Turner Gallery.
William Turner Gallery published a 190-page book surveying 30 years of your stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
great.
Probably
okay.
about 100 paintings in it.
I
And I was only able to show 25 in the.
You got to put word in for me to get Bill on the show. Do you think Bill would want to do the show?
Let's Bill be on the show.
Bill Turner, I want you on my show. I want to know where the bodies are buried.
He knows.
He won the Robert Berman Wars. No, never mind. Okay, so tell us. Let's see what else Andy brought, because you brought some great paintings here, and I'm just a fan. I'm
So this is
gushing.
another of this kind of very recent painting. This one actually preceded the first one we saw. So this one is on an airbrush background. It's another 6 by 8 foot painting.
Wow.
And the rock-like form is all paint that's flowed on, and then I actually move the material that I work on, which is polycarbonate, to get the paint to go in the directions that I want it to move in.
Polycarbonate.
Exactly.
Poly means many. Carbon means rock. What does 8 mean? Okay. So you a polycarbonate acrylic paint?
It's polycarbonate is like plexi, only stronger.
Oh, really?
And more flexible.
Oh, okay. So there, and does it have like a light quality? Do you like? I mean, is it?
I mean, the paint is dense enough that you're really seeing the paint. It doesn't really matter what surface it's on.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily, you're not really seeing the surface of the polycarbonate. You're just seeing acrylic paint.
It holds the paint great.
It holds the paint
great.
great.
Good to know.
Perfect surface for it to, because the paint is flowing around the whole time I'm working.
Is there only
so
one?
I want something that's non-absorbent and pretty smooth.
Wow.
So the paint
but then it holds
travel.
it afterwards, because the problem with a lot of smooth surfaces is
it's because the acrylic
adheres?
chemically there is some kind of bond between acrylic paint and hard plastics.
You're not just a painter. You're a chemist.
Yeah. No. Alchemist, garage scientist.
There used to be a saying in abstract expressionism, dumb as a painter, but no more, man. These guys have to, alchemist.
A lot of R&D goes into
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, is there only one company that makes polycarbonate? I mean, can Is it
No,
is
I
it
think
patented like 3M or some of that, or you
I
just
think 3M might make it, but
So-
there's many companies.
there's many places you can get polycarbonate. Okay, that's hey, pro tip. So and how big? Again, this is
6 by 8 feet. So it's pretty much to scale what we're seeing.
and you get the effect, of course, of like a sunset,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
being in nature.
I wanted it to be this sort of ominous sunset with this giant form in front of it, sort of hearkening back to.
And again, now your titles are not necessarily the most poetic.
I keep them simple.
You keep
Yeah.
and they have what are the numbers?
They get reused many times.
Oh, really?
So this is a metamorph painting, and then there's numbers based on size.
You don't
So
remember the
I'll
number?
do-
You don't remember the number for this one?
Oh, 1504.
Oh, okay. Hey, good.
1502.
1502?
1504 was the prior one.
Oh, I thought 1504. Boy, you held out on me and didn't bring 1504. Sorry. Okay, so let's move on because there's some more great paintings here. And okay, now
Right,
this
so this is on a vertical curve.
you're a vertical
Again,
curve.
it's about a 6 by 8 foot painting. The paint is flowed on, and it's on a vertical parabolic curve. Because if you look from the front, it curves in like this. It's curved both on that axis as well as on the frontal axis. Do we have a
okay.
front shot of it?
Do you have a front shot of it?
We should.
Yeah.
So there
Okay.
you go.
Oh, so you
So
actually
it
see
kinda
the curves here.
creates more of an illusion of curve than there actually is. It's probably
wow.
about 7 inches deep at the top and bottom. And
No,
about an
it
inch
looks
and
so
a half.
extreme. Yeah. Wow.
So it creates this kind of extreme illusion, which I'm interested in. And then again, the paint is flowed on, and there's a lot of detail in this paint. I mean, you're looking at kind of the overall composition right now. I like this one. It's one of the newer ones. It's a little more abstract because a lot of the paintings have had this very defined kind of horizon in them, which I was after at the time, and now I'm interested
There's
in
no
making
horizon here. I mean, barely.
No,
I mean, one
it's
could
more
argue at the
oblique.
top, but yeah, it's
up there or
yeah.
lower down. I want
Yeah.
this one. It's a more kind of psychedelic cubist type of approach to landscape.
Your color palette. We've been seeing a lot of recent works, and we're looking at a lot of like orange blue,
Right.
which is very hard to mix together.
I've
By the way, don't
definitely
try this at home.
Turn the volume up on the color palette over the last
Yeah.
year or so.
And over your period of time, is there like,
Well, I painted black and white for about 10 years in New York.
was there a reason
Someone
for that?
even coined the term Mr. Black and White.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow! If they could see you now.
Yeah, exactly.
Why black and white then? Why not black and white now?
I like the black and white because I was making these paintings that look either sort of microscopic or galactic. So it referred to the imagery that I was after. It was pre-Hubble shots, so you didn't have all those intense colors. You know, you thought of the universe as a kind of black and white situation. But I also liked it because I was working with oil and water. So I liked this idea that it was polarities, black, white, oil, water, and kind of mixing them together. And then you get these secondary, tertiary, all these other colors out of just two colors, which interested me.
Now, when you changed from black and white, was that about the time that you moved back to LA?
Actually, I had a studio in Montauk starting in 1990, the tip
okay.
of Long Island, and that was kind of the first time I made paintings that had some kind of landscape referent to them.
Okay.
Before they were things you really couldn't see with the naked eye. They were galactic, they were microscopic, and I was crammed in the city. You didn't see much nature there. But they were these allusions to nature, but nature that you couldn't see with the naked eye.
So when did you come back to LA?
2000.
Well, no, so you went to Cal Arts.
In the late 70s,
Late
early
70s.
80s.
So then you came back in 2000?
I did. So
Okay.
I was there a good stint, 18 years.
Oh no, that's 18 years
Yeah,
in
I've
New
served
York.
my time.
That's like 75 years in LA because LA's a lot easier. Would you say LA's a lot easier town?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever get the feeling of like, man, LA just? I mean, there's a spark to New York. I'm not going to deny. I'm an LA booster, and I joke about New York, but there's a spark to the New York art scene when you're there.
Absolutely. I was just there last week.
Oh,
Saw
yeah?
so many great shows. But I think, it's amazing what LA is now compared to what it was.
Oh
in
my God!
1982.
It used to be like a stagecoach stop in the art world at one point, and now it's like
Indeed. Even though there were many great artists doing many great shows, it was just in pockets and it was small.
Yeah,
And now
and
it's become
it's just there's art everywhere.
Everywhere.
Who
So
are
many
these
artists.
people that
A
are in
lot-
our art
They're all
world?
coming from New York.
Yeah, a lot. I've noticed that a lot of people are moving here from New York.
They are.
Why do you think it is? Is it just easier
I mean,
here?
it's so much easier. And
Yeah.
rents were 1/4 the price here just 5 years ago. But
Wow.
now that gap is starting
It's
to
LA's
starting to
catching up,
close.
man.
It's catching
Downtown,
up.
woo!
Yeah.
And you're out near Venice, right? So
Yeah, lucky I've been out in the same space for a long time.
So you've had it. Okay, so you got to get in early, kids.
Got to get in early.
Next scene's going to be Riverside. You got to get in early. So leave now. Go to. Where? Okay, you had this big show. Where else have you shown that? Like, if you meet like a big collector, you want to make that. Hey, they saw your show? Where did I see your show? Where would they have seen you?
Right. Well, I mean, over the last 5 or 6 years, since 2010, William Turner.
You're repped by Bill Turner at Bergamot Station.
Exactly.
Great relationship.
Prior to that, Patricia,
I mean, 5 years is
Patricia for 20 years.
Oh, Patricia Four. Wow.
Actually, 1986.
May she rest in peace.
Yeah,
would you get mad that I was making the sign of the cross? So Patty Four. You showed with Patty Four for a long time, right?
When she was on Almond Street.
Oh my God, that's before she moved to Bergamot.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you helped her make the transition too, right?
Well, I mean, I was in New York, so my shows were pretty sporadic.
Okay.
Patty. I showed a lot in the late 80s, and then we kind of reconnected in the early 2000s after I moved back.
Man, I never saw anybody get more reviews than the Patricia Four Gallery.
She had the knack.
She had a knack to get just real.
Best story, well, other than yourself, maybe the best storyteller in the art world.
Oh, I would never want to go up against Patty Four. She knows where a lot more bodies are buried than me. So you've been with Bill. Great. Now, do you show outside of Southern California?
It's been a while. I did a show in New York in 2008.
Where?
Actually, it opened at a gallery called Bjorn Wrestling, and it was the night after Barack Obama won the election. So there was
everybody's in a good mood.
A lot of euphoria.
Buying art.
Yeah, went well.
And so what's next?
Actually, Kelly and I are in this show coming up in Ojai.
In Ojai.
And then in 2019, we're doing a show in Naples, Italy.
Wow.
And probably a show next year with Bill Turner again.
Okay, good.
A show in the desert with Melissa Morgan Gallery.
Oh, how's Melissa Morgan? How's working with great?
Yeah, love those guys.
Because I went out to, I guess you had a show there when I was at the Palm Springs Art Fair.
I show there every year on my birthday.
Ah, and your birthday's when the Palm Springs Art Fair?
Exactly.
Okay. So we'll get you back on my other show, Astrology Blitz, to talk when we do Aquarius.
Yeah.
Okay. So real quick, if you want to put a time mechanism into this work, how you said like it's one sitting, but 5 hours, 8 hours?
I don't really look at the clock, but probably somewhere in that range.
A good work day.
The prep on a painting like this, and this is with help, is probably 3 weeks of mixing these colors in very particular ways and floating them in very particular ways before I apply them. So there's a huge prep process, and then it just happens quickly.
Has there ever been one that you said?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that happens a lot?
No, fortunately not a lot.
Not a lot, but it does happen.
Yeah.
So you produce X number of paintings and
flies ruin more paintings than I do.
Really?
Yeah. I work inside a tent with mosquito netting and fly zappers inside to try and keep them at bay, but it's a full-time job.
Oh my God! So insects have ruined the paint when the paint's still wet and you have that exact. Oh no!
And then they move.
And then what year is this?
This is 1986.
Oh my God! So this is Mr. Black and White.
Yeah, this is Mr. Black and White.
You earned that title. Wow.
Yeah. So I started these paintings actually in 1982 when I first moved to New York. And then I took a loft there that took about a year and a half to fix up. So there was sort of this lost time. And then I sort of picked them up again in 1984 and started showing at, I showed at the Pyramid Club in the East Village in 1985. That was my very first show.
That's bragging rights, man. Wow.
And then Art at Space in 1986, which was a great place.
Oh, yeah. That's in the history books.
Anina in 87. So things were on the fast track. In the mid-'80s for me.
Were the movie portrayals of Anina anywhere near accurate?
Anina was a great woman.
Yeah?
But, interesting woman.
So and this is, are you still staying with the same like acrylic paint and everything on this one?
This is all oil. It's basically oil and water and sort of done kind of through paint reactions.
Wow.
And
again, really the alchemist, the chemist.
Again, yeah. Wow. A lot of R&D went into these paintings. So this relates to the later work in the sense that the whole background is done in one shot. And then I came back in and did sort of little paint reactions for each one of these rock-like, orb-like, asteroid-like sort of forms that floating in this space. And again, I was sort of after this ambiguity of space where it's sort of abstract painting, but super suggestive of all kinds of natural phenomenon.
Wow. Okay, cool.
I think at this time I was really influenced by earth art too. I really loved
Robert
Smithson.
Smithson. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just didn't see myself going out into the dusty desert and making work.
I think you made a wise choice, and the permanence of a painting. We have historical fact.
I just felt like there was a way to
around.
investigate phenomenon and Earth-like phenomenon through painting in a way that I'd like to think hadn't been done or researched up to that point. So that was my jumping off point, and I've continued that through line for the last 30 years.
You certainly accomplished that. While we've been talking about your art, Aliza's been in the sketcher's seat. Oh, wow. Okay. Check her out.
Very nice.
Wow, wow, wow.
Well done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here, hold it up just a little higher and tilt it so the glare. Yeah, there. Wow. Andy Moses.
Dead on likeness.
Dead on. Well, Andy, thank you so much for being on Modern Art Blitz. And like I said, one of my favorite painters working in LA today.